What's going on, fam? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, back with another Gamecock news update. And yes, ESPN has finally put out the rankings of all the hires for college football, grading college football's new hires across the country. And the Gamecock, since we hired Shane Beamer, ESPN has a grade for us. So I'm going to read that real quick. But before I do, please hit the subscribe button if you like the content that you are hearing and watching, and also notification bell. Notification bell will allow you to know every time I drop a video. And let's get into this. Man, South Carolina gave us a B-. So we're going to read why they gave us a B-, and I'm going to give you my opinion on why I think that this may be true or not. But here's the situation. The outcome here will be fascinating. The fit factor is paramount in coaching searches, and Beamer undoubtedly is a fit for South Carolina. He loves the school where he served as an assistant from 2007 to 2010 and helped build the recruiting class that sparked the Gamecocks to a 33-6 run from 2011 to 2013. Unlike most candidates, Beamer truly sees South Carolina as a destination job. He has been around great coaches and programs his entire life, most notably his father, Frank, a college football Hall of Famer, coach at Virginia Tech. Previous Power 5 head coaching or coordinating experience isn't absolutely necessary for head coaching success. Clemson Dabo Swinney, LSU, Ed Oregon, I'm saying his name wrong, and Northwestern Pat Fitzgerald all lack these credentials, and they all done pretty darn well. But I would have graded any of these hires much higher than this one. Previous head coach experience, or at least coordinating experience, is strongly preferred for these jobs, especially one of the most challenging positions in the nation's toughest conference. Beamer 43 would have been a strong candidate at many other Power 5 jobs, while sitting head coaches like Louisville's Scott Satterfield, Louisiana's Bill Napier surfaced in the search. South Carolina ultimately went with a guy who had a strong support from former players. Beamer could be a fantastic CEO, but there are some reasonable concerns here, and his staff hires will be critical to boosting South Carolina. So let's stop right there and let me express to you what I think about this real quick. One, it is hard to rate a hire based off of just previous experiences. I would rather for them to put this story out after the first season, and you can kind of rate here and there. Give them a quality, rate them based off the quality of their work. Then to just kind of be like, hey, look, he hasn't been a head coach. Maybe this may be a situation, but we don't know. So, like I said, Dabo Swinney was a wide receivers coach at Clemson before he took over as interim head coach and finally got the job. Dabo Swinney has been doing darn well ever since then. Coach O from LSU wasn't a head coach, led LSU to a national championship. Even though they had a really rough year this year, things worked out pretty well. So I do not think that you can just judge a book by its cover by saying, hey, look, he has a strong coaching tree, but because of that he gives a B-, and you give the Boise coach a B and give us a B-, even though he coached and had success at Boise State. But will that success transfer to the SEC? And on top of that, you are underneath the West, which the West is no joke. The West is no joke. If I had to determine whether or not I wanted to coach for the East or the West, I would want to coach in the East. It's a lot easier. You know, other than Florida and maybe Georgia, you can kind of be a team that kind of rises up. And I think that South Carolina, if our recruiting and the hires work together, I think we can rise up. I'm not saying we're going to win the East next year, but it's very likely in the next few years that we can position ourselves to compete in the East, maybe win the East, and have a chance at Atlanta. Because you never know, if the West has a weak season that year, we may can take on an SEC championship. Who knows? And maybe make it to the playoffs. But I understand what the ESPN want to do, but I say let's wait until we see more of Shane Beamer. Let's wait a year to see what happens and how our team looks. Because ultimately, you're just guessing here and there. And ESPN is trying to rate their make quota, get people to read their articles, their websites, so that fans can be like, wait a minute, my coach ain't a B, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter. But here's what I need you to do. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think that Shane Beamer is a B- higher? Do you think he's higher? Do you think it's lower? Let me know in the comment section below. Again, it's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, and please don't forget all three. Lucky Murray back with another Gamecock News update. And yes, please hit that like button if you like this video. If you made it this far, subscribe. If you already here, you made it to the end, please subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. And also, let me know what you think in the comment section below. But until next time, people.